Yo, what is up, guys? We are back for another video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle, and what I want to do in this video, let's just go ahead and hop into the Masked Saiyan EZA. A lot of times, or I guess it's the Extreme Z Battle, technically, right? But a lot of times what I like to do is just kind of go through these last 5 stages. I think let's go ahead and do, I guess it doesn't really matter a ton. We're going to absolutely just decimate this event. So, and then we will definitely go through like a couple more units that you can potentially bring and that kind of shit. So, but we're going to go ahead and go through these last 5 stages. It just like these seem to be the most difficult. I think honestly, if you have, unless you're like brand spanking new and you have none of these units, this should be pretty easy for you. The Revenge category, it's one of these categories that a lot of people, you know, took umbrage with, right? Not every single unit that could possibly be on there was added to it, but ultimately the category is quite good. You know, with the likes of like LR Tech Broly and shit like that. Like, there's a lot of good units on here. This, obviously led by AGL Bardock, who is very, very good, which, you know, contrary to what you might think, he actually performs quite well in here because he has that category, right? He leads that category. He's an AGL unit, of course. We'll go ahead and, again, none of this really matters. It's all kind of whatever, right? So we're going to absolutely just decimate this event. So, not Tech Trunks. Tech Ultimate Gohan going to be a good choice for you. At the very least, he's going to defend quite well. Remember, he has Permaguard, so, you know, Permaguard in any event is really, really good, and he's greatly stacking attack and defense. You know, Tech Gohan, man, is still possibly the best TUR in the game. Possibly, right? Probably between him and Int Gogeta. At a certain point, it's about your preference, right? 1.25 is not super impressive from this guy. Keep in mind, we had no Super Saiyan active, and we got him like 1 Key Sphere or something. I was hoping we would have got that dub right there. Oh, well, not a big deal. So, obviously led by AGL Bardock as we went over. I brought Super Saiyan 3 Bardock as well, so dusted him off. Super Saiyan 3 Bardock going to perform just fine in here. One thing to keep in mind is he does not get his attack and defense until after he super attacks. So go ahead and slap him in the 2nd slot, and he'll defend just fine for you. I decided to bring Time Traveler Support Mai as well, because, hey, guess what? Most of the team is Time Travelers, so I could easily replace Tech Gohan off this team, and we could just run a full Time Travelers team. That would work just fine. What I think we'll do, let's go ahead and just check out the Revenge category real quick, if I can find it real quick. I always struggle to find these, you know, obscure categories. Okay, so you want to avoid Fizz and STR, so let's just go ahead and go with these 3, right? And we also want to avoid extreme class units. However, I would say the one lone exception might be this guy. If you have him with a number of dupes, he is so strong defensively that, you know, he's just going to defend very, very well. So might not be the worst idea to bring him if, like, you have no other options. He could at least be just like a defensive ace, right? So you have quite a few choices. Now, I would probably avoid bringing this guy. He's just very bad, right? Unless you have Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, which, hey, guess what? There's no Super Saiyan 2 Gohan on this category. I think you could probably argue he should be on this category, but for whatever reason, he is not. Just a choice by Bandai and Akatsuki to not put him on the Revenge category. The trigger for him going Super Saiyan 2 was literally the death of Android 16, right? Where Cell stomped on his head. Seems like revenge to me. He was also kind of avenging his dead dad. I mean, I don't get it. But obviously there are like a lot of options. This guy is completely free to play. I need to sink orbs into him. I'm always reluctant unless I know for sure I'm going to be using them a lot. But he would be a solid choice. He's at Goku's family support unit. I believe so, right? I think he's providing a little bit, right? Let's see. Let's just double check. Yeah. So yeah, key 1 and attack and defense 10%. It's not much, but it's not bad, right? So again, this guy is completely free to play. I haven't sunk orbs into him. He's actually quite good. I probably should do that. If you don't have the Int Trunks, like, you could easily bring like this guy, although he's not going to perform the best, because he performs the best when you're up against androids or a Cell unit. But yeah, I guess ultimately not too many choices here. They'll be alright in here. They'll be fine, except you're not going to be up against a Trunks or Zamasu. They're not going to be, and you're not going to have a Super Saiyan Blue on the team because it's not really possible. So they won't perform nearly as well as they potentially could. But, I mean, you know, Boda Magetta, sure. I mean, that's fine. They're just reversed currently. But I guess they'll be okay. They'll be good defensively, at least. So, not too many options, to be honest with you. Just make sure you limit it to AGL, Int, and TEQ, and you will be just fine. You could honestly probably bring the STR Trunks in my unit, again, if you had no other options, because you're up against a Time Traveler. So remember that they're going to perform very, very well against Time Traveler enemies. If you guys are looking for a full in-depth team building guide, the homie DBZ Blaze just dropped yesterday a very, very nice video, a really good job, well done by him. A full team building guide on different teams, even some free-to-play builds and stuff like that. So you guys can easily get this one done, honestly. If you've been playing for any amount of time, you shouldn't have too much of an issue. Revenge, again, not the biggest category in the world, but I think you'd be able to get it done. And if you do not have all of the, require revenge units, you could, I think, get it done with a full int team, assuming you have some powerful int units. Like if you have like the 3-year Fusion, the Vegito unit, you use him as your leader and just bring like some, really nasty, super int units, stuff like that. Like you could get it done. You could even bring a unit like Int Hercule to, again, be kind of like a defensive ace. I think that wouldn't be the worst idea in the world. So just to be factual here, I went ahead and checked. So he actually performs better against only one enemy. And then, of course, he doesn't greatly stack. He only normally stacks attack and defense. But he also lowers enemy attack and defense, which, by the way, a minor annoyance on this stage is the fact that if he super attacks you, he will lower your attack, which can just be, it can kind of drag on the event a little bit longer. So a decent idea is to put maybe your weakest, like I'll put Time Traveler Support My just on the off chance that he lowers our attack and defense in that first slot. Time Traveler Support My, she's not going to be the most stellar unit in here or anything like that. But at the very least, she is, providing a really nice buff to like 6 of the 7 units in here. So not too bad. I will take it. Yes. This guy, man, considering what we know now about category leaders getting easy A's, again, confirmed, right? UI Goku officially has his easy A over there on the JP side of the game. So knowing what we know now, a unit like Int Bardock, dude, he is going to be so nasty after an easy A. He is good, I mean, already. Like, he's pretty damn good in his own right. I mean, he can still hit decently hard. He does struggle a bit defensively. But just, again, knowing what we know now, man, he's going to be nasty. Hopefully they get rid of that chance to seal and just straight up let him seal. Super attack, that would be really, really good for him. And then he just needs a minor attack and defensive buff. I think, does he get, I'm not going to pretend to know right offhand, but I know it's not enough. But he gets all of his attack and defense on super, so they could potentially change that too. I don't mind that. Maybe if you give him defense start a turn, and then give him attack on super, that would be fine, because then he could hit super hard with a support unit on rotation. Again, a Time Traveler Support My would be really, really good. In terms of a leader skill, considering he is already 170, I don't really know how you buff that. I guess you could, I think he's attack and HP 170. I guess you could boost his defense up to 170. Or, you could start to buff units up to 177%. That is an idea. I don't know that they're going to do that. I think they probably want to shy away from that. If you're Dokkan and you start to make the leader skills too powerful, I think you kind of paint yourself into a corner, and then the power creep just gets out of hand. Imagine you have a leader skill that's 200% attack and defense. I mean, dude, the attack stats and defensive numbers you'll be putting up are just overwhelming. It'll overwhelm any boss in the game, particularly when you've got people who like rainbow shit on the first banner and stuff. There's going to be, I don't think that it's really a good idea for them to boost the leader skills much more than they already are. 177 is and should be the maximum. I really don't think. What you could do is like a combined mono and category leader skill. So for instance, let's just take like AGL Bardock. Like instead of maybe making him, let's say you make him Revenge and you make it 150%, but if you're also Revenge and AGL, maybe he buffs you up to 200% or something like that. But it would be for a very, very few select units, right? I would be okay with that. But just straight up making category leader skills 200%, 250%, like that's too much for those of you who think that's a good idea. I hate to break it to you, it's not really that great of an idea. I'll do it. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I think the power creep would just get out of hand. It's already pretty out of hand when you look at AGL, UI Goku, and then Int Evolution Blue Vegeta. They are just crazy. They are just nasty. They are just absolute demons. Oh, I didn't mean to send a friend request. I guess, shout out to the homie Graham, whoever that might be. All right, last stage, here we go. Mass Saiyan, I mean, this stage has given us very, very little trouble, and I wouldn't expect you guys to really have too much trouble. I think another strategy, I don't know if I mentioned this or not in the video, I'll go ahead and just reiterate it if I did, but I think a double Int Trunks, that might be even like a superior way to go. Or if you don't have AGL Bardock, I think probably you do. You've probably picked him up with coins, or you've probably summoned him. He's been on, what, 3 or 4 banners now. Yeah, he's pushing a year old. He'll be a year old next month, right, on Global and JP. So probably you have him, and he'll probably be on the Saiyan Day banner as well. So at the very least, maybe you could get him with coins on the Saiyan Day banner, or you can, just straight up summon him. I would probably shy away from getting him with coins at this point. I don't think he's super necessary, unless for whatever reason you are still struggling with the long event. He is an absolute, ooh, he did a kind of a lot of damage to us. Okay. He is still like one of the kings of the long event. He is just really, really good for the long event. He seems to stack up his defense so much. It's just kind of hard to explain. I think maybe it's because he's got a high defensive stat, but he seems to stack it up way quicker than almost anyone else who just basically stacks attack, right? So like obviously TEQ Ultimate Gohan, he greatly stacks attack and defense, but just the way that Bardock stacks his defense, and then after he transforms, man, he's just so good, man. Anyway, let's go ahead and finish up. We're going to collect our mission stones. Remember that, yes, you get 30 stones from each stage up to stage 30, but you also get mission stones. So let's go ahead and collect the mission stones. So each EZA is giving you 4 stones for missions, and all it is completing the stage in a certain number of minutes and with revenge units on your team, which obviously you want. So Int Trunks, I would say he maybe didn't perform like the craziest in here. He's got type advantage, but keep in mind, if you get him 7 or more key spheres, he's super effective against all types. He's pretty crazy, man. But Mass Saiyan, dude, easy money. An easy 30 stones. Again, this is probably, in terms of stones and summoning and such, this is probably the last banner that you guys are going to want to summon on. They're going to have to pull out something hyper than more hype, if you will, than UI Goku and Evolution Blue Vegeta to get your boy to summon. At least summon a lot. They're just like, come on. I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, like Turles, he's coming out next, right? That's been confirmed on Global. Yeah, he's probably a top 5, top 10 unit in the game. But UI Goku is undisputed #1. Undisputed, not even close. From what I've seen, I haven't used him, but just like the power that he shows along with that combination of dodging and defense. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they make a unit better than him, right? But anyway, guys, let's go ahead and wrap it up here. Again, just save your stones. Save these stones is my point. If you haven't pulled Gogeta yet, you maybe want to throw one more multi at it. Sure, whatever. But I think unless you spend money on the game, it's probably time to cut your losses and just move on. Save for the 6th-year anniversary. I better not catch you summoning before the 6th-year anniversary. Again, unless it's the most crazy, insane hype thing we've ever seen. But slap a like on this video. And of course, consider subscribing if you're new. I love each and every one of you guys. Thank you for your support, and I will catch all of you in the next one. Later.